Hello, welcome back. I'm Tonya from Tonya's Witchy Kitchen, and you are here for another episode of Tonya's Witchy Kitchen Tea Time. Although this is not a regularly scheduled Saturday performance, but it just had to be this way. So, I have been driving down country roads since I was 5, okay? And the same country roads, like no matter where we moved, we've always been around my hometown, and we've always come down the same gravel roads to visit my grandma or my dad, and take the same back roads to visit my mom. So gravel roads are not a thing that worries me. I don't have a problem driving on them when it's snowy or muddy or rainy or all the things, right? I drive like my grandma. I don't look at the speedometer, I just drive. But anyway, there are people that should not be on gravel roads. They should not drive gravel roads, okay? The speed limit on our gravel roads is 55 miles per hour. If you feel like going 45 because you are just testing out the scenery and wanting to, go slow, that's fine. I totally appreciate that. However, move your butt over. Like, don't drive down the middle of the road. We have these neighbors. We'll call them neighbors because, on the farm, your neighbor could be 1 mile to 5 miles away. Okay, they might be a little more than that. But anyway, it never fails. I get to this intersection, they cut me off, even though they can see me coming. They cut me off. Then they proceed to drive 40 to 45 miles an hour down the middle of the road. And they don't move over. Like, if I put my blinker on and, move over to, I want to pass you, could you move over? They won't. They will swerve over. They do not drive, as a good driving citizen. Because if you're driving slow, move your butt over. That's just common sense. If you're going to be on the phone and you want to stop because of service, don't stop right after you've gone over a hill. It's a great way to freaking have somebody smack you. Park where you can see, in front of and behind you for quite a distance. It's common sense, people. But you would be surprised how many people just pull over. It's like they get to that hill and, I'm going to lose service. So they stop. But nobody can see them from the other side of the hill. And that's another thing. When you're going over a hill on a country road, make sure you're all the way to the right. Don't go over in the middle. Don't go to the left. Make sure you're all the way over to the right, because it can be dangerous. People are coming and you don't see them, and there's no lines on the road for these people that should not be on gravel roads, but you have to imagine there's a line in the middle, okay? Not where the tracks always are, but that line in the middle. And then there's those people who proceed to wash their vehicle and think they have to go 5 miles an hour down the road, but they don't want you to pass because heaven forbid you give them a rock chip. But if you're gonna go that slow, move over for traffic that's coming behind you. And what are you doing about the traffic that passes you from the front? They can throw up rocks. And living on a gravel road, your vehicle's gonna be dusty. I'm sorry. Well, mine's always dusty. But I travel 15 miles. Okay, it's not quite, I don't know how many miles of gravel road, where I guess if you only live right off the gravel road, that's fine, it's perfect. Or 2, but some of these people, or it's muddy and they're going slower than slow, and it's just like, come on. If you don't want to go faster and you have cars piled up behind you, move over. It's that simple. It's that simple. And go the speed limit. It's 55. 55, yeah. I don't know. And there's so many other scenarios. And wave. Okay? We only lived one time, we were just a mile off the road, right? And somebody must have told my husband that I don't wave when I drive. And I wasn't a waver. And he goes, you wave to everybody. And I'm like, but I don't know them. And he's like, you're on a gravel road. You wave to everybody. So now it's just a habit. I wave to everybody. But there's this one farmer. He's a renter. He rents a bunch of farmland around here. And his kids are pretty pleasant. They must be closer to my age. But he must be like a peach, because let me tell you, this guy don't wave for anything. Anything. Like, nope. He will not wave. He's either so stuck on himself that he thinks he's better than everybody because he don't wave. But that's not how it should be. You should wave to everybody. It's a friendly gesture. Nowadays, I don't know if I'd pull over to help somebody. I mean, I know people do, which is great. But being a girl, if somebody has problems, I'd probably yell at them across the road and be like, do you have a phone? Great, okay. Or I'll send my husband with the tow truck or the tractor and, pull you out. But, yeah, they take driver's education, in the summer. In the summer here. They should have driver's education in the winter and in the spring. Like, you should have to do all 4 seasons up here. And then they should take them on a gravel road, like in the spring when it's muddy and all the snow's melted. They should take them on a gravel road just because people don't know how to drive on gravel roads. Anyway, enough of that. I was on a rant. I bet you can guess why. Today we are doing a root beer. It is made with like a tea. It is a tea, made like a tea. But we're talking the old-fashioned root beer, like that was made way back in a apothecary or old soda fountain type thing. Okay, not the A&W root beer that my children love to drink. And my grandchildren love to drink. I had to put those in there. It is their favorite. I can't say it's their favorite pop, but it is like top 3 for sure. They love that stuff. And this is a little different because it doesn't have all the, stuff that has in it. But there's tons of ways to do this on the internet. And I messed with a few different types, concoctions, recipes, and came up with this one. This is probably my favorite. And we need to do we're making a syrup is what it is. So 3 things. Dream big. Be true to you. You are worth it. There's no note taking. So I'll meet you right directly in the kitchen. This is Rosemary Gladstar's recipe off learningherbs.com. And we're first going to start with sassafras bark. And we're going to do, in the end, we're going to do 3 tablespoons. The second one is sarsaparilla root. You're going to hear the root in a lot of this, and that's why it's root beer. And we're going to need 3 tablespoons of this. I messed up because I wasn't reading my directions correctly. So it's 3 of each to start. And the sassafras bark is, as you can see, it's really chunky. I could have broke it up some more. I probably should have, but it's okay. I don't have birch bark. Birch bark is supposed to taste kind of wintergreeny and stuff like that. So I took some mint sprigs, assorted mint sprigs, spearmint, peppermint, pineapple, all that jazz, and just used some dried ones that I had. And so I have 2 tablespoons of assorted mint. Next is dandelion root. This is 1 tablespoon of dandelion root in here. And another one is licorice root. We are going to have a total of 1 tablespoon of licorice root in here. And next is fennel. It's way on the bottom there on the left. Fennel seed. 1 tablespoon of fennel seed also. And I'm sure birch bark adds a lot, but I don't have any. That was star anise, and we want 8 to 10 star anise pods, is what they said. I picked up the ones that were just perfect because this is just gonna, I don't know why I do that. Next is ginger root, 1/4 of. It's not 1/4 of a teaspoon, it's 1/4 of a tablespoon because it's all in parts. So, and then next is burdock root, which is 2 tablespoons of burdock root. See, look at that. Beautiful, ain't it? Of course, our last ingredient is going to be water. You can add anywhere from 4 to 5 cups. I did 5 cups of water, of course. And then we are going to put it on the stove over low and simmer for 30 to 45 minutes on that low simmer. If you have to shut it off, that's okay. Okay, so after taking this off the stove and it's still pretty hot, so I would say I boiled mine as low a simmer as I could get. It was the smallest, my smallest burner, lowest point. It was a rolling boil for like half an hour, and then I shut it off. Just because it's like, it just doesn't simmer. I was going to do honey, and then I decided I'm going to go just the basic traditional sugar method with this, and I'm going to add 1/3 of a cup of sugar to this, okay? And then I'm just going to let it dissolve. Now, you have 2 options after this point, okay? Obviously, the sugar has to dissolve, and it's got to cool, right? If you have ginger bug, it smells so syrupy. Your options are going to use the ginger bug you've made or use a seltzer. So you'd use it like a syrup. This would be like a syrup. So it's supposed to be pretty potent. If you use the ginger bug, you want to put it into a bottle and ferment it. And I am going to actually add some of this to my kombucha. That's another video coming down the road. But, and try it that way and flavor my kombucha that way. Okay, so of course we have to strain it. And I'll be honest, I strained it out and I added 2 more cups of liquid to this and reboiled it. And it made a really, really fantastic tea. So, because I just felt bad throwing, I just felt I didn't utilize these herbs as much. But strain it. Do not add your ginger bug until it is totally cool. That's a little, just a little tip there for you. You cannot use it until it's cool or you will kill the ginger bug. So after this is cool and strained into a jar, some tips. You want to add an acid. So we're going to add some lemon juice. Okay. You can add this to ice cream just right off the bat if you wanted to. That would dilute it a little bit. You can add, there's my acid. Yep. Just a little bit, just a tiny bit. Some vanilla, definitely. Cream. I'm a creamy kind of person, kind of like an Italian soda. And then whatever type of seltzer water or, the sparkling water that you want to add, by all means. This was really delicious. I actually preferred it, though. My preference was hot tea. I kid you not. I'm not sure why. Okay, and if you want to turn this into a syrupy syrup, put it on the stove. Bring it to about 180 to 200 degrees. We're going to use 3 types of sugar in this. 10% molasses, and then 45% and 45% of regular sugar and brown sugar total. You have to measure out. So if you have 8 ounces of liquid, you want 8 ounces of sugar. Okay? You want to boil it for about a minute or so and let it sit. Put it in the fridge, and it is yummy. So I hope you had a good time. Thank you for dropping by, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.